Hello and welcome to News Central Television. I'm Darshan Usman. The top stories this hour. Again, state creation, state police and gender equality concerns top discussions as the House of Reps holds zonal hearing in southern Nigeria over constitution review. Labour Party House of Reps caucus asks Tinubu to caution Edo governor over inciting comments on Peter Obi's safety. Away from Nigeria, DR Congo, Rwanda-backed M23 armed group signed ceasefire in Qatar. Details shortly. We begin with the House of Representatives zonal public hearings on constitution review across Nigeria's southern region. Now, the public hearings aimed at capturing grassroots input on the nation's legal framework. In the South, delegates converged on Yenagoa and Calabar, covering 6 states. Enugu and Owerri played host in the southeast, while Lagos and Akure lead consultations in the southwest. Citizens, civil society and stakeholders are expected to table demands ranging from restructuring to resource control. In Southeast Zone, the public hearing commenced at the Ezemo Palace in Owerri, Imo State. The session focused on gathering submissions from Imo and Abia states. Delegates presenting their positions on key constitutional issues from governance structure to human rights say among the voices pushing for reform is the chairperson of the women's group, Blessing Magba, who is advocating reserved seats for women in government.
It is with immense pride in Nigeria's democratic journey that I welcome you to this historic zonal public hearing in Owerri, the heartland of the southeast of Nigeria. It is not just a gathering, it's a national conversation. It is the voice of the people shaping the destiny of our great nation. Nigeria's journey since independence has been a continuous quest for a constitutional order that truly reflects the aspirations and diversity of its people. From the Clifford Constitution of 1922 the 1999 Constitution, it first has sought to address the evolving needs, the evolving challenges of our society.
Now, if you understand the reserve seat bill is asking for a reserve seat for women. That's constituency for only women to contest. We're not talking about percentage this time like we had percentage in the Beijing conference, like asking for 35%. That's not the way this last seat bill is going. We are saying that in every state, the constitution should be altered to create certain seats for only women to contest in. And that will give the women 1 seat in every state for Senate, 1 seat in every state for House of Reps, 3 seats in every state for House of Assembly. And what that means is 37 seats, that's including the Federal Capital Territory, that's 36 states plus the 37, which is FCT, means 37 senatorial seats to be contested for by women only, 37 House of Reps seats to be contested for by women only, and 108 House of Assembly seats to be contested by women only when this bill is passed.
Earlier, our correspondent Austin Azu joined from Bayelsa and spoke to some participants.
At Yenagoa, of course, we are monitoring what's happening in Cross River as well, the capital of Cross River State. about the ongoing constitutional review sought among the stakeholders in the South-South region. However, before now, we have dignitaries who were here and they presented their papers. Some sent in their goodwills, and of course, we had their position paper being read and presented. They had a consensus about what the people of the Niger Delta actually wants from the constitution. One is it's about resource control. Second, it's about devolution of power. And thirdly, is women inclusiveness. Then fourth is about constitutional role for traditional rulers, among others. However, we have the spokesperson for PANDEF, Ominimini, to bring us to speed the position of PANDEF. Okay, sir, bring us to speed. What's the position of PANDEF in this constitutional amendment sought by the House of Representatives?
PANDEF was very clear in its presentation. Number one, PANDEF believed that Nigeria independence was gained as a result of the struggle of our leaders. And what our leaders fought for at independence was the ability to control your resources and pay tax to the center. That is true federalism. The 1960 Constitution laid foundation on that. And the 1963 Constitution was so clear on control of your resources and pay tax to the center for the center to maintain international diplomacy and territorial integrity. So at this moment, we want a situation where there are federative units, and the federative units will pay tax, control their resources, and pay tax to the center.
Well, we go on a break now. When we come back, we'll have Professor Nna and Okon, Executive Director and woman gender expert, to speak with us on this. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now, to speak on the public hearing on constitution review that's happening in the southern part of Nigeria, we have Professor Simeon Nna. He's a public affairs analyst, and also joining me is Okon. She is an activist and gender expert. Thank you so much, gentleman and lady, for joining me at this time.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so let me begin with you, Professor. Now, let's first get your views on the ongoing constitution review process.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a jamboree, and nothing, absolutely nothing, is going to come out of it. This is not the first time. I think that's a way the National Assembly have created to make money for themselves, because they are going to get allowances for moving around. Can you imagine that when it was done for the Southwest, it was not even publicized? A lot of people didn't know that such things were going on. The Constitution is a bad one. I've said it time without number that the opening comment in that Constitution, we, the people of Nigeria, is a fraud, because there was nobody that elected anybody to any Constituent Assembly to make any Constitution. It was just 2-3 people in a room that Abacha told what to write because he wanted to succeed himself. And unfortunately, because of the way Obasanjo came in, Absalom foisted that constitution on him, and they started operating that constitution. We have patched and, that constitution severally, and nothing is coming out of it. My worry is what happened to the 2014 confab. In fact, that's one of the grudges I have against Jonathan, because he had the opportunity of pushing that confab to the National Assembly. Recall that while that National Assembly was winding up, they passed about 200 or 200 and something bills within 24 hours or 48 hours. That would have been the time that Jonathan would have presented that document to the National Assembly. They would have passed it into law. And today, we won't be talking of amending a very bad constitution. There are so many lacunas in that constitution, and that is why we are where we are today. So you keep on amending something that is bad, you can't get anything good from it. I think we need a brand new constitution. And 2014 confab would have been the best option that would have had in getting a new constitution. 2 days ago or so, they were parading that, I don't know whether that is true, that the Senate has approved 12 more states. From where? And you see that they gave each state, or each zone rather, the 6 political zones, they gave each of them 2 additional states. I don't think that is okay for us, because before now, even the confab went into that and they said something. They said one of the zones had been marginalized in the creation of states. What they were advocating was, before you can even think of any new states in the southeast. And I'll tell you why. Because Nigeria is standing on the 3 points. The north, the south, and the east and the west. That's the 3 points that Nigeria is standing on. Now, they are saying minorities. The Nigerian state have made the southeast the minorities. Because of all the other geopolitical zones, they have 6, 7 states. It's only southeast that have 5 states. So I think the confab, they were fair in their judgment to say, first of all, create 1 more additional state in the southeast before you now think of creating additional states. But they are getting that because Nigeria, I don't want to say.
Okay. Now let's hear from MM as well. Your general thoughts on this.
Yeah, my thoughts on this, specifically, I'm interested in the special seat bill, and I think this is an opportunity for the National Assembly to redeem themselves after throwing out the gender bills in 2023. The special seat bill, we are looking at increasing special seats for women in the Senate, special seats for women in the House of Reps, special seats for women at the States Assembly. And this will go a long way to increase the number of women in electoral processes. Over the years, instead of the number of women at the National Assembly to be increasing, it is decreasing. And in this particular administration, it is worse than what we had in previous administration. So I think this is the time for this administration to prove that they are committed to increase participation of women in politics. So the special seat bill, I support accelerated passage of this bill. I support that the president should give assent when this bill is passed. And also, I know that in some states, at the local government level, some states make provision for quota for women participation. But then it has not really translated into any forms of power for the women to influence anything. So this provision for the special seat bill should not just be that we have certain numbers of women there, but there should also be provisions to back it up, that women are able to exercise some forms of power while they are in the Senate, in the House of Reps, and at the state legislature. I'm also looking at the fact that this year is post 30 years after the Beijing conference, and the platform for action was adopted. So it will go a long way to show that Nigeria has the commitment to implement all the international frameworks that they have been signing on issues of increased participation of women in politics. So this should be done. It's going to be an affirmative measure because it is to be implemented within a certain period, and maybe after that it will be reviewed if it has to be continued or if it has to be discontinued. So I really, really support the provision for special seats for women at the National Assembly,
all right,
also at the state legislature.
All right, now let's come back.
I also want to add that just as the professor said, information about the public hearings did not come on time. So women didn't really have enough time to mobilize to go to the public hearings.
Okay. Let's come back to Professor. Now, Professor, do you foresee any challenges, especially in balancing state autonomy with national unity during this constitution amendment process?
Balancing state autonomy with national unity. What are they balancing? See, okay, let me start this way. Are you aware that there was an executive bill for local government autonomy, and the governors went to court, and the Supreme Court even said that the local government should be autonomous? Up to now, has it been implemented? I can tell you for free, madam, go to the bank with it. This is a jamboree, and nothing is going to come out of it. If anything comes out of it, then I am not in Nigeria. I know this country very well. They are just making money for themselves. Nothing, absolutely nothing is going to come out of it. We have had laws in this country. We have had governments promise heaven on earth. We are going to, the affirmative action, we are going to increase the number of women, we are going to reduce the number of MDAs. Have they done that? This administration, instead of reducing the number of MDAs, they have increased it. You see, but they promised that they were going to reduce it when they were coming in. So I can tell you for free, I know this country very well. This crop of legislators cannot, I repeat, cannot do that.
Okay.
If they do that, then I will say that I no longer understand. I'm no longer in Nigeria. As I know this country, nothing is going to come out of it. And you're going to see it pan out.
All right.
After spending so much for 2014 confab, they put it at the trash can. Nothing is going to come out of it.
All right, well, let's come back to MM. You did say that, there wasn't enough time given, so very few women showed up, at the event. But then how do you think that these women, even civil society and ordinary citizens, can ensure that their voices are not marginalized during these hearings?
We have been disappointed before, just as the provost observed. And you can't also rule out apathy, that nothing will come out of this process. The public hearing that was held in Akwa Ibom State, it was the day that the public hearing held that I had information about it. And also that is why people feel it's just part of those activities of the National Assembly that nothing is going to come out of it. But it is also a challenge for the National Assembly to ensure that this is not just one of those jamborees. It's not just one of those activities. It's not also just one of those things that they do because they want to earn allowances. It is important that this administration recognizes the fact that many citizens have lost faith in the administration. And this process of constitutional review should be part of the things, indicators that they should use to restore the confidence of the citizenry on the government.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Professor Na and MM, for your time and for speaking on this. We'll wait to see how it turns out.
Thank you.
With that, we'll take a break. When we come back, the news continues. Do stay. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the political landscape in Edo State continues to evolve as Governor Monday Okpebholo welcomes the last remaining PDP federal lawmaker in the state, Marcus Onobun, into the All Progressives Congress in a defection described by party leaders as a major boost for APC ahead of future elections. Governor Okpebholo used the occasion to issue a stern warning to opposition figures, including Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, over alleged activities capable of disrupting peace in the state. News Central correspondent Amenze Bazwaye reports from Uromi.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
In a major political realignment, Marcus Onobun, who represented Asan Central, Asan West, and Igwebin Federal Constituency under the PDP, officially joined the APC during a ceremony in Uromi, Asan Northeast local government area of Edo State. Governor Okpebholo described the move as a significant consolidation for the APC in Edo Central, signaling what he called the final collapse of opposition strongholds in the state. Okpebholo also seized the moment to address recent political tensions, linking them to opposition activities. He specifically pointed to Labour Party's Peter Obi's recent visit to Benin City, which he alleged coincided with incidents of violence vowing to uphold law and order in the state.
I told you we will develop Edo State. We will throw Edo into a construction site. They are seeing what we are doing. Yes. That we attract them to come and join us. The man will say no gashishi. I am sending a direct message to him. There is a new sheriff in town. He cannot come to Edo without telling me. He came the other day and donated 15 million. Somebody will say no gashishi. Why gave me 15 million to donate to people? By the time he left, there was crisis. 3 people died in Benin. So for that reason, tell Obi he should not come to Edo without telling me.
Marcus Onobun, who until now was the last PDP federal lawmaker from Edo State, said his decision to defect was both ideological and strategic.
I am excited to be standing before the leaders of this land today to identify with a unifier that will transform its land to a developmental site. This is just the beginning. More are coming. Those who want to come, you better come now before we draw the line. This is the time to come and join the winning fold.
Governor Okpeyolo used the opportunity to reaffirm his commitment to infrastructural development, transparency in governance, and the delivery of democratic dividends for Edo people. In Edo, for News Central, Ameze Bazwaye.
In the meantime, the Labour Party caucus in the House of Representatives has condemned comments made by Monday Okpeyolo, Governor of Edo State, regarding the safety of Peter Obi, the party's presidential candidate in the 2023 elections. Okpeyolo, during a public event on Friday, warned that Obi must not visit Edo without prior security clearance, alleging that violence followed the LP leader's last visit to the state. A statement on Saturday by Afam Ogene, leader of the LP caucus, described Okpeyolo's remarks as uncivil, unconstitutional, and unbecoming of a public figure. Ogene noted that Obi, like every Nigerian citizen, is entitled to move freely across the country without fear of intimidation, violence, or political persecution. The obedience movement has also condemned a video of Edo State Governor Monday Okpeyolo allegedly threatening Peter Obi, warning him not to enter Edo State without prior notice. Now, the group emphasized that the 1999 Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to move freely and reside anywhere in the country, describing the governor's remarks as unconstitutional and a threat to national unity. The obedience movement warned that such dangerous rhetoric from governors who are the chief security officers of their states should not be taken lightly. Still talking politics, the National Executive Council of the Labour Party says it has ratified the interim National Working Committee of the party. At its meeting, which held in Nigeria's capital Abuja, the party reaffirmed the leadership of Nenadi Usman as interim national chairman and Darlington Nwokwacha as interim national secretary. The National Executive Council also approved a schedule for ward, local government, state, zonal congresses, and national convention.
We need to work now. I want us to focus on working ward, local government, state, national congresses. If we do that, I'm telling you that we are good to go. Comrades, the NLC that facilitated the formation of this party is still there, and we have not abandoned the party.
And then on behalf of NEC, I've had a little discussion with our Baba here. We also would like to appeal to all the people who have grievances, including Barrister Abude, to sink their differences and let us work together to make this party a strong and viral party. That is if they like the party.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is stepping up its campaign against the abuse of Nigeria's currency. At a sensitization event in Lagos, the Commission urged Nigerians to treat the Naira with respect, describing it as a vital symbol of national identity. News Central Sewese Anyo reports.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it is promoting responsible citizenship by encouraging the proper handling of the Naira. At a sensitization campaign in Lagos, officials described the spraying and defacing of currency as illegal, economically harmful, and damaging to Nigeria's international image.
Public misconception regarding the campaign against Naira abuse is still rife. People claim Naira spraying is part of our culture, while others query our focus on Naira abuse over other so-called high-profile crimes. The EFCC will be failing in its statutory responsibility by swaying to the archaic sentiment of a Nigerian spraying culture. An offense is an offense.
Beyond Naira abuse, the Commission also raised concerns about rising financial crime. Over 790 suspects have been arrested in recent months, including nearly 200 foreigners linked to investment and cryptocurrency fraud.
We have discovered a pattern of criminality in recent times involving foreign fraud syndicates establishing cells in Nigeria and recruiting young Nigerians as predators for online romance, investment and cryptocurrency fraud. Two notable operations in Lagos and Abuja exposed a large number of foreigners setting up and operating organized fraud syndicates in Nigeria. I'm very sure you'll be privy to that press release by us. In one single operation where about 194 foreigners were arrested.
Also present at the event, the National Orientation Agency called for the Naira to be treated with the same respect accorded to other national symbols. Public figures, traditional leaders, and everyday Nigerians were urged to help shift cultural attitudes and promote national pride.
How can we expect international respect for our currency and even for ourselves when we do not respect our own currency and we do not respect ourselves? Celebrities and socialites, often seen as role models, have found themselves at the center of these controversies. Our Naira is not comfort. It is not an accessory for social prestige. It is a national asset that demands respect.
People do not understand the gravity of Naira abuse and mutilation, but with the recent start of the EFCC, the CBN, and the NOA, and what they have been doing on social media, people are more conscious. If you go to parties now, people don't abuse Naira openly like before. People understand that, yes, this is a serious crime.
The EFCC says its campaign will continue as part of broader efforts to uphold integrity and protect the country's financial system. In Lagos, for News Central, Sewese Anyo.
President Bola Tinubu has assured residents of Jebu in Iriom local government area of Plateau State that the federal government will leave no stone unturned in uncovering the cause of the recent deadly attack and ensuring it is not repeated. Now, represented by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Nentawi Yelwada, the president sent his condolences during a visit to the affected community following Tuesday's incident. News Central's Chizobanyo reports that the minister described his visit as a needs assessment mission following the attack that claimed 27 lives. He also extended an invitation to traditional rulers from the community to meet with government officials in Abuja in a bid to unravel the root causes and work towards a lasting solution.
Assessment of what happened in this community, and I've interacted with them. I'm inviting the leaders to Abuja so that we can extract more information about what happened. That will enable to do a need assessment of what happened, and after conducting need assessment, we should be able to do a response plan I'm sure Responsible will cover the peace component, will cover also the humanitarian component, and also cover the durable solution component. And these three components will help us to respond appropriately to issues that have to do with the community. That's why we're here. The central message is a message of compassion. Our heart is with them. Our prayers are with them. I will make sure that we take appropriate action by taking this issue up with the Commander-in-Chief and ensuring that the security investigate, respond as appropriate.
Leaders and innovators converge on Washington, D.C. for the African Ambassadors Economic Forum, an event driving economic growth and development in Africa. Now, the forum brings together African ambassadors, policy makers, entrepreneurs, and experts to share insights, foster partnerships, and shape the continent's economic future. News Central correspondent Igbalani Omoni gives an update on the discussion from Washington.
African Ambassadors Economic Forum held at the heart of Washington, D.C. has created a platform for high-level discussion, partnerships, and collaboration. The discussion is simple: to improve the lot of Africans in Africa and beyond the continent, and of course to better the economic landscape of the continent.
But I'm excited. I'm very, very excited at what's happening right now. With all the people that made it happen and all, that's really very, very interesting.
It's time for Africa to begin to stop imagining a great Africa or a greater Africa, but to begin to work towards making it come to fruition. It's not all word and no say. Let's say, let's do. Let's do more do than talk more talk.
The event saw participation from African ambassadors, policymakers, and experts who shared insight on driving growth and development.
You see, Africa as the upcoming continent. We have the change from the monopolar world into the multipolar, and Africa is the center of this development.
We have one of the highest African American populations, but there's a limited number of those who are looking to Africa for business, and that's what we're trying to change that mindset.
I think confidence is very much linked to self-respect, and I think it's really important that African countries, officials, ambassadors, whoever is representing the continent needs to have a sense of respect for self, for their countries, because if you don't have it, don't expect others to extend it.
Keynote speakers emphasized the importance of regional communities in promoting economic integration and cooperation.
If you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe in you. So for the African Union and every other agency that projects Africa, we need to love ourselves, find ourselves, know who we are, understand that we actually have a voice, so we will be able to develop.
We are ready, we are open, we are waiting for you. African brothers and sisters, let's work together and let us shape the future of the new world.
Together, we can do good. Africa is on the move, and New York City is right by its side.
But not that Africa is closed for business. Africa is not closed for business. If Africa is closed for business, we're not going to be having private jets flying into DRC, into Cameroon, into Sierra Leone for diamonds, into South Africa for diamonds and gold, into Ghana for gold. So Africa is very, very open for business. And we want to incentivize the public and sensitize them on the fact that Africa is really open for business. And that is one of the things that we want to, showcase to the world.
Beyond talks, participants have expressed optimism about the potential for meaningful collaborations and initiatives to drive Africa's economic growth and development. In Washington, D.C. for News Central, Igbalani Omoni.
Coming up, DR Congo, Rwanda-backed M23 armed group signed ceasefire in Qatar. We'll bring you more after the break. Stay with us. Away from Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda-backed M23 armed group have reached a ceasefire agreement to end ongoing hostilities in the mineral-rich eastern region of the country. The truce signed in Doha, Qatar, aims to halt fighting that has caused significant devastation and displacement. Both parties have committed to maintaining a permanent ceasefire, agreeing to refrain from hate propaganda and any efforts to forcibly seize new territories. Now, this agreement follows a recent peace deal signed in Washington between the Congolese and Rwandan governments. In the same vein, the African Union has described the recent ceasefire agreements between the DRC and the Rwanda-backed M23 armed group as a significant development. Now, the agreement is seen as a major step forward in efforts to secure lasting peace, security and stability in eastern DRC and the broader Great Lakes region. The ceasefire marks progress in addressing the conflict that has caused considerable instability and humanitarian challenges in the area. The African Union continues to support initiatives aimed at fostering dialogue and reconciliation between the parties involved. This milestone offers hope for a reduction in violence and the restoration of order in one of Africa's most volatile regions. A fierce critic of Cameroon's long-running President Paul Biya has officially submitted his candidacy for October's presidential vote. 71-year-old Maurice Kamto, who came second to Biya in 2018 presidential election, will stand for the African Movement for New Independence and Democracy. In 2018, Kamto stood for the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, but it was disclosed that he would resign from MRC to join Manidem, a party founded in the 1990s and rooted in Pan-Africanism. The 92-year-old Biya is seeking an 8th term in office and has been in power since 1982.
Naturellement, c'est pour accompagner notre président au dépôt de sa candidature, la candidature tant attendue par le Cameroun et l'Afrique entière.
Nous avons découvert que cette candidature est réelle, ce dépôt est vraiment réel, ce n'est pas du fake news. Donc le président élu Maurice Kamto a déposé sa candidature.
Away from Nigeria and in other news from around the world, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, Ambassador Mike Huckabee, visited the Christian village of Tabor in the occupied West Bank on Saturday after an arson attack on the historic church that residents blame on Israeli settlers. The fire earlier this month damaged parts of the 5th century church of St. George. Ambassador Mike Huckabee, an evangelical Christian, condemned the attack as an act of sacrilege and demanded full accountability. He said places of worship, mosques, churches, or synagogues must be protected. His comments follow rising violence across the West Bank, where Palestinian officials say settlers have killed 3 people and destroyed water infrastructure near Tabor in recent weeks.
It doesn't matter whether it's a mosque, a church, a synagogue. It's unacceptable to commit an act of sacrilege by desecrating a place that is supposed to be a place of worship. It is an act of terror, and it's a crime. We will certainly insist that those who carry out acts of terror and violence in Taiba or anywhere be found, be prosecuted, not just reprimanded. That's not enough. And we come to express solidarity with the people who just want to live their lives in peace, to be able to go to their own land, to be able to go to their place of worship.
Several people have been arrested in London during protests over the UK government's move to ban activist group Palestine Action under anti-terror laws. Our demonstrators marched through central London, accusing the government of suppressing dissent and targeting pro-Palestinian voices. The group was officially proscribed earlier this month, with ministers claiming its action, often involving property damage, posed a threat to public safety. Protesters and human rights advocates say the ban is a step too far, criminalizing activism and setting a dangerous precedent. The Metropolitan Police say arrests were made for public order breaches. Despite the clampdown, organizers vow to continue their campaign. Legal challenges to the ban are expected. In the world of sports, Nigerian table tennis stars dominated the men's singles semi-finals at the 2025 ITTF Africa West Regional Championships. Now, the two semi-final matches at the Sir Molade Okoya Thomas Indoor Sports Hall produced exciting results. In the first semi-final, Abdul Fattah Abdul Basit defeated compatriot Mati Taiwo in a hard-fought four-set match. Abdul Basit won to secure his place in the final. The second semi-final saw Matthew Kuti overcome Wasiu Kolasi in another four-set thriller. Matthew prevailed after an intense battle that went the distance. And both winners advanced to the championship final, guaranteeing Nigeria will claim the men's singles title. The all-Nigerian final between Abdul Fattah Abdul Basit and Kuti Matthew is currently ongoing at the Sir Molade Okoya Thomas Indoor Sports Hall. Kenya and Botswana dominated the track at the African Under-18 and Under-20 Championships in Abeokuta, Nigeria. Kenya's Clinton Owatinya continued his winning streak. Now, the newly crowned African Under-20 100-meter champion took first place in the 200-meter heats with a time of 21.19 seconds. Botswana's Prince Faisal also impressed in the 200-meter competition, winning his heat in 21.22 seconds. Nigeria's David Akalu finished second and qualified for the semi-finals. In the 800-meter events, Kenya swept both heats. Vikodi Chemutai dominated the under-18 girls race with a winning time of 2 minutes, 5.10 seconds, and her teammate Cynthia Chepkuri won the second heat. The Kenyan boys also excelled. Manasseh Koech set a personal best of 1 minute, 48.64 seconds to win his heat. Lawin Getich claimed victory in the second heat. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our top stories. We told you that, again, state creation, state police and gender equality concerns top discussions at the House of Representatives hold zonal hearing in southern Nigeria over constitution review. We also told you that Labour Party House of Reps caucus asks Tinubu to caution Edo governor over inciting comments on Peter Obi's safety. Finally, you heard that DR Congo and Rwanda-backed M23 armed group have signed ceasefire in Qatar. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Thank you for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.